Hello and welcome to episode 5. Hello. Episode 5
Hello.
of Mull to 4. This week we've decided to make Cracker Pack a sort of semi-regular feature.
Yeah.
We have
Until we get bored of it, I think.
until we get bored of it. We have 6 sexy packs. Interestingly, all of which came out before me and Joe were playing
Yeah.
Magic. Of which we also have a D6 that we're going to roll, see which one we open. So let's go with that first, and then we'll.
We need to give each of them a number. So
Yeah,
say
just-
Gate Crash is 1.
Yeah. So Gatecrash is 1. Return to Ravnica 2.
Khans of Tarkir will be 3.
Theros is 4.
Journey into Nyx is 5.
And then Corset 2015,
The most exciting one.
the most exciting one, is going to be number 6. In
Number
fact,
6.
tell you what, let's mix this up. Let's put Return to Ravnica as number 1 and Gatecrash as number 2. That way,
Alright.
no, let's do this.
Oh my god.
Let's do this in pack order.
Is that the order?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so now it goes Ravnica, Gatecrash, Theros, Journey into Nyx, Corset, Khans, 1-6.
You're just showing off, I didn't know that.
Roll the dice, Joe. Let's see what we get.
I get to roll the dice.
You get
Right.
to roll the dice. It is
3.
Theros.
Theros.
Let's put those over there. I'll crack it open, lay them out. Again, first pick is how it's going to be.
Yeah, so basically, same as last week, what we would pick first and why.
Yep. Bear with us.
I'll read them out. So we've got Dragon Mantle, Nessian Asp, Bronze Sable, Afara's Warden, Borderland Minotaur, Sedge Scorpion, Wild Celebrants,
Yep.
Two-Headed Cerberus, I can't read,
Time to feed.
Time to Feed,
Asphodel Warrior.
Wanderer,
Sorry.
Asphodel Wanderer, you can't read either,
Tormented Hero.
Yeah.
Horizon Scholar. Satyr Piper. Arbor Colossus as the rare. Wow, big showing in the recent Pro Tours, of which we'll talk about later as well. Okay then, Mr. Joe, you'll have to bear with us. Neither of us were playing when Theros came out, so we may be a bit like, what does
there's
this
a lot of
card
these
do?
that are very new to me.
Just as a hell of it, like the one green essentially Typhon Rat, Sedge Scorpion, 1/1
1/1
Death Touch.
Death Touch.
It's a rat, like hell yeah.
Yeah.
Nessian Asp is big, has reach and monstrosity, can get bigger. Arbor Colossus is good, but it's too expensive, unfortunately. You're very, very committed to green if you first pick an Arbor Colossus because it's 3 green and 2 colourless. It is amazing.
That is
but,
true.
But yeah, Tormented Hero I think we discussed. There's a lot of 1-drops in this pack. There's at least, like, 4 1-drops. 1, 2, 3, 4. Because Dragon Mantle is a 1-drop as well. When Dragon Mantle enters the battlefield, draw a card. And then Enchanted Creature, or it's an Enchanted Creature has pay a red. This creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn, which I believe is known as Fire Breathing, but that's okay. I don't think you first pick it because it's not.
No,
It's not amazing. I don't really know, to be honest. I'm quite liking the Sedge Scorpion because it's got Death Touch. Asphodel Warrior, I mean, it's got Regenerate, but it's a 1/1 for 1, and the Regenerate cost is hefty on it. I don't think that's that good.
I might go for Time to Feed. It's a green removal spell.
Yeah, maybe.
But then I'd be passing Arbor Colossus, and then pack 2 might screw me over because the person to my left might maybe pick it and decide that green
To
was
go
open.
to green. Yeah, I suppose
Go
as
into
a
green.
late game bomb, actually. If you
Yeah.
go mono, well, this Theros was all about devotion.
Yeah.
So if you're going mono green,
That's true.
Arbor Colossus is where you want to be.
Yeah, I think I'd probably take Arbor Colossus actually. I know it
Yeah.
very much puts me in green, but it's a 6/6 with reach, and you can monsterify it as well as something else to do with your.
Monsterify.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can monsterify it. And
What would you got? Monstrosity.
Monstrosity, when it becomes monstrous. It says
Oh.
there. When it becomes monstrous, destroy target creature with flying and opponent controls. Even if not, it's what, a 6/6 for 4? 6/6 for 5 with reach. So
And then if you monsterify it anyway, it becomes a 9/9.
yeah,
So
monstrosity 3. So
even if you don't
9/9
kill a
with reach.
creature. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that.
I'd
Like,
take that.
Theros was all about mono colours and devotion. So yeah, Arbor Colossus maybe.
Okay, so say it was my pack, just quickly. I took Arbor Colossus.
Okay.
What are you going for?
Yeah, because so you're not going to know that you're in green. If anything, you think you're in white because there's only
Yeah.
one white card in.
There's only one
Fire
white
is
card, there's
Warden.
only one blue card,
That's true.
and there's 4 green left. So there was 5 originally.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping I'll get a few of
This
them
pack
back.
is very heavy in green and red. It's only a 1/2. I'm tempted by the 2-headed Cerberus, but it's only a 1/2. It has double strike.
That's
though.
double strike.
I I kind of be tempted by the Horizon Sphinx as a bomb, but I don't think it's that good because you're paying 6 mana for a 4/4 flyer, and then you scry 2 when it comes in. So
What about the Asp?
The Asp?
Nessian
Asp 4/5. Yeah.
It's not as big as a 6/6 reach, but it's a 4/5 reach.
Yeah, you're not going to know that you're in.
Yeah, you wouldn't. You have no idea that I'm in green.
Yeah, exactly.
It's one of your least suspicions, probably.
I mean, Borderland Minotaur, or Minotaur, depending on if you're American or not. No, that's the wrong way around, but whatever. Is a 4/3 for 4. I suppose it's always going to trade down, but that's some hefty harass. But it's vanilla as well, so
yeah.
I'd say, not knowing you're in green, for me, yeah, it'd be the Nessian Asp. I'd want to take the Sedge Scorpion because I love Typhoid Rats and 1/1 Death Touchers, but for one, but it's a little too small for a first pick. You could pick these up a lot later.
Yeah, you probably might see another one.
It may come back round.
Yeah.
Or you just generally pick it up later because I think there's going to be quite a lot of them. I'm trying to think what else was in green.
So that would be quite a bit weird. So we'd probably both go in green because it was a very strong green pack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's.
Oh, thank you. I'll just pop the Arbor Colossus there. Okay.
Very interesting.
That was very interesting and very quick as well. I kind of want to do another one, but we'll save that for over the course of the next 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And we have a token of some sort.
Yeah, we've got a token. I've never seen that.
Soldier.
It's a soldier, but it's red.
Yeah.
Is that just me? Maybe because I wasn't really around, but.
There was an Acroan dude who had Heroic, who creates red soldiers.
Oh, okay. Anyway, you might have noticed that I'm wearing glasses this week.
Speckled Joe.
It's because I need glasses, turns out. You might have noticed a few episodes ago I was kind of like looking lazy in my eyes, and I was kind of like nearly looking like I was falling asleep. So I was kind of watching it back and I was going, what am I doing?
Definitely.
So yeah.
Now that Joe's explained himself.
Yeah, I feel like I need to.
On with the main bulk of the discussion this week, which is going to be the ever-changing and newly changed, I suppose, state of standard.
Meta.
Meta is the correct word, but well done. I sound so patronising. The new meta for standard, essentially, Pro Tour. I can't remember. Pro Tour Magic Origins happened.
Vancouver.
Finished yesterday. Yeah, in Vancouver, won by Joel Larson with his red aggro deck.
Yeah.
Joe also played in a local standard on Friday and said that the meta has changed significantly.
Yeah.
So we're just going to go over that and say what's changed in some of the most exciting things that have happened since then. There was, interestingly, at Magic Origins Pro Tour, there was a lot of brews, and a lot of cool brews.
Yeah.
Like a guy called Andrew Cuneo. Yeah, Andrew Cuneo was playing a tutelage deck, which just looked insane because it abused Sphinx's tutelage to go, whenever I draw a card, you mill 2, and then if they share a colour, you get to mill another 2. So this is interesting for multicolour cards.
Yeah.
So you imagine if you hit a Siege Rhino, and anything else that's either white, black or green,
Yeah.
they're going to keep going.
Yeah.
And it's just like, what? Yeah, really interesting deck with Sphinx's tutelage being the main card, which is a free drop, as I say, it makes the mill, and then a load of card draw, and we have Carhorns here as well, and our Hammeret's Archive, which basically says if you draw a card, draw 2, or if you would draw a card, I believe it's outside of your draw step, draw 2, or if you gain life, gain twice as much life. So you can basically abuse that with things like Treasure Cruise and draw 6 cards off Treasure Cruise and then hit 6 triggers on the tutelage, depending on how many you've got on field, because you're playing 4.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you've got 2 tutelages on field,
Yeah.
draw 6 off the cruise, they're essentially milling, that's going to be 12.
At least 12.
At least 12 just off the
It's probably 20.
just off the initial
at least.
triggers. A friend of mine, I don't know how well Joe knows him, I don't think he does, called Shannon, who's literally just started playing like
I've met
a
him.
couple of weeks ago. Joe's met him once. Has literally just started playing, and he liked the idea of a sort of a tutelage deck. So, I'm not ashamed to admit it. Saturday, I spent 11.5 hours playing Magic with Shannon, building him a deck and playtesting it. And it didn't start as a tutelage deck; it was red-green, but eventually that's where we ended up. And playing that, even though that's nowhere near as competitive as Andrew Cuneo's was, like some of the stuff you get off that, like
You just realise the synergies, I guess, as you go.
I played him. I tested it against my own deck and like I managed to get 2 tutelages on field and milled him for like 2/3 of his deck of 1 card draw.
Yeah.
Or of 1 divination, I think it was. It was insane.
I think.
And then stupidly Ben played a monocoloured deck against it, which was hilarious. But yes, carry on.
Yeah, no, I think just going back to what you said about the Pro Tour, is that's kind of the main thing that I like about watching the Pro Tour, is that very often when the teams or the individuals are thinking of what deck they want to bring, they always kind of have to think outside the box to come up with something that nobody else would have prepared for, which is why these kind of these decks become also popular but also so successful at the Pro Tour, and then obviously maybe at the next one people in their sideboard know how to conquer it.
Yeah, I mean,
and then it doesn't become such a thing anymore, but it's very much trying to innovate on the spot.
They're known to an extent as meta calls, which is basically you look at the meta, see what's dominating. So for instance, red aggro is always going to be pretty strong, and Abzan in some way, shape or form has been dominating for the last year? I suppose, well, it's not a year.
Since Siege Rhino.
Siege Rhino came out in Cairns, which was last September, I believe, which has been dominating pretty much the whole time and has just got better with each set that comes out, or tweaked with each set that comes out. It's basically taking a medical, or what they call taking a metacal, and looking at those decks and going, what would be really good against those? Because you sort of think that the majority of your matchups is going to be that, and that's how you end up with these crazy, like a tutelage deck which uses disperse and kill and burn spells to burn creatures off and return things to their hand and all sorts of stuff like that. Or I can't remember the guy who was playing it, but there was a guy who was playing a demonic pact deck.
Yeah,
which looked.
But that's what I love about watching it, is because you don't really know what you're gonna see.
Yeah, definitely, and just stuff like that. Some of the decks you see, like, it's just amazing because obviously it always affects the meta as well, and I fully expect that our next game day we're going to see
somebody testing out
some copycat decks are going to be taken from the Pro Tour, whether it's the mono reg aggro deck that won it, despite the fact that Mike Sigrist in the final was very unlucky having a Mull to 3.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah, which was insane and pretty heartbreaking because it went to game 5, he had to Mull to 3, and his 4th Mull his Mull to 4 was like 3 cards you couldn't really use in a mana confluence, and you're playing against a burn deck, and it's like, I don't want to use mana confluence because it's the worst land in the deck against this other deck. So he was really unlucky. The worst part about it was, if he'd have won the Pro Tour, there was a really close race for Player of the Year.
He'd have got Player of the Year.
He got Player of the Year anyway.
Oh no, he got Player
of the final.
Yeah.
He became American captain before getting to the final.
Yeah.
And he could have just topped it off by winning it as well, and he was like 1 game or 1 round or whatever it is, 1 game away from winning.
But still, he got Player of the Year. I mean.
Oh yeah, definitely. He's still, don't get me wrong, he's still walking away with $20,000 US just for getting there, which is amazing. But it was more the fact that going into the Pro Tour, everyone's looking at Eric Froelich, who was another player who was a front runner Player of the Year.
Yeah. Lost
the first 3 draft games, then just went win, 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 win. Everyone was like, he's got it in the bag. Mike Sigrist has to win the semi-finals or the quarterfinals, and then the semi-finals.
Yeah.
And if he wins the semi-final, he then overtakes and becomes Player of the Year. And Eric Froelich is in the booth watching him do it as he's winning, and they were on the same team. So Eric Froelich was like, I'm very happy for him, but you know that he was probably a bit like, I was so close to becoming Player of the Year.
Yeah.
And then it all sort of got snatched from underneath him, which is insane. Which is another thing, a really cool thing about this time of the year, end of the season Pro Tours, when it's like a real race for what people could be or look at.
And Sigrist was playing the other deck that we thought was quite a breakthrough as well.
I love this deck, blue-red in Soul Artifact, which just looks absolutely insane. I mean, we've said many times.
I think it's very clever because it's kind of used what many people wouldn't kind of think of is obviously a lot of artifacts have come out of Origins.
Yeah.
And then was it M15 as well that's had kind of the in-soul artifact
whole M15
combo.
Yeah.
And then it's just kind of like merging the two into a really awesome, quick deck that a lot of red aggro decks couldn't even race against.
And then even things like Ghostfire, well, Darksteel Citadel was M15, but Ghostfire Blade was Karn's.
Was it? Yeah.
Ghostfire Blade was Karn's, so it's like everything set-wise from the past, however many sets we have in standard at the moment, which is going to be 6 to 8 sets.
Yeah.
Which is the biggest standard it's ever going to be. But the fact that the audacity of this deck, that you can literally go turn 1 Ornithopter, turn 2 and Soul Artifact, I've got a 5/5 flyer, hit,
Yeah.
and so many decks just can't deal with it because out of burn range,
Yeah.
it's a 5/5 flyer. So unless you've got a quick drop flyer, which
Yeah.
I guess most decks probably aren't playing, unless you're in Soul Artifact deck as well. It's like, what can I do?
Yeah.
It was just so quick and so insane, and as we've said many times, we've not been playing long, and one of the things that really struck me was in Soul Artifact, my Ghost Fireblade.
Yeah.
And it's like, wait, what? It
It's
never,
an
even,
artifact.
never even occurred,
Yeah.
never even occurred to me
Yeah.
that it's not a creature, so you can't do it. So it's like, yeah, just turn this Ghost Fireblade into
The 5/5.
a 5/5. It's like you can equip it for one less because you've got another artifact as well. It's just so much synergy in this deck.
Yeah.
Hangback Walker was an absolute beast.
Yeah.
Like, and Shrapnel Blast as well. Like, you just hit people down to 5 damage, then go, okay, sacrifice this artifact, Shrapnel Blast, you win.
Yeah.
It was so quick and so insane. And as you say, no one saw it coming. Or only like the pro teams had sort of figured it out, but it was just absolutely crazy. Like,
Yeah. I was quite shocked at when I first heard that it would become a deck that was doing really well and had like one of the best win rates at the Pro Tour, and I kind of had to think about it. Go, oh no, yeah, there actually would be quite a lot that would work well with that. Once I was reading up on it. Did you watch any of the draft? Because I like watching the draft of the Pro Tour. That's one of my favourites.
Didn't see it. No.
No.
Not really. I think I may have seen. Who did I see? Yuya Watanabe.
Yeah.
Drafting when he did his Nantuko Husk Sacrifice deck. Then I saw the first game.
That was the deck that you kind of tried to do at pre-release.
It didn't work for him either in the first game, so win. Yeah, definitely. He got a lot better picks than I did, but yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
I think he was maybe he was a little forced into it, but that was really cool. That's all I saw though. So if you
Yeah. No, I just had one story that I really liked that when I was watching. That I don't know his name, but he managed to draft 8 undead servants, and basically when undead servant enters the battlefield, you get a 2/2 zombie for every undead servant in your graveyard. So obviously where it's draft, outside of draft format, if it was in standard, you could only have 4 of those cards. But if you draft 8 of the same non-basic land card, you can just put them all in. So he drafted 8 and put them all in. I just love the idea of it.
Did he actually get it to go off at any point?
I don't know, but it was just. I was kind of watching it in the background, but yeah,
that's fair.
It was quite funny.
It sounded like a really funny deck. Going right, I'll drop this and I'll get 3 zombies with it. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't see much draft. I was really happy that the top 8 was quite diverse. In the sense of, I believe there was only 2 red aggro decks, whereas red aggro dominated day 1.
Yeah.
And truth be told, I really wanted Mike Segrist to win, because we've seen
because it's something out of the box.
Yeah, Red Aggro won the last Pro Tour with Martin Dang, who was actually on the same team as Yor Larson.
Yeah.
They won the last Pro Tour, and again, it's just this Red Aggro deck that's just like burn, I win within 2 seconds, and it's okay to watch in fair play if you can get it to work, because Yor Larson was very lucky in one of his games to top deck the 2 cards he needed 2 turns in a row to win.
Yeah.
But as you say, like, Blue, Red and Soul Artifact is so out of the box and so fresh and new.
Yeah.
And that
you almost want to see it get rewarded for its
I think it
unique thinking.
I think it did. They put a lot of players in the top, but to win it would have been amazing. Also very impressed to see an Australian guy. I think his name was Paul Thompson. First Pro Tour top 8 playing Green Red Devotion.
Yeah.
Which looked like a really, really interesting deck as well. I mean, I'm slightly biased because I've got a bit of an affinity for Australian people anyway.
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
You're kind of from there.
As I'm kind of from there. And weirdly, no one from England ever seems to do well in Pro Tours.
No?
Like, you look at, not as far as I know, you look at standings and it's always like, I mean, for this one, for instance, it was 5 Americans, an Australian, a Swede, and then I'm not sure the nationality of the other gent who was in the top 8. But yeah, it's, again, like, nice to have a diversified top 8, because that was, at least it wasn't like 8 red aggro decks and this game's going to last 2 minutes sort of thing.
Yeah.
which
makes
it
interesting to watch.
Anyway, Going back to it, more of some, I guess, on the ground experience of how the new meta's changed. Joe went to one of our locals last Friday,
Yeah.
and he's got some stories on new decks that he saw and how they played and how the meta's shifted, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, firstly, I just want to say it was really good because it seemed about twice as many people actually turned up
Wow.
as normal. So the actual release of Origins seems to be causing a bit of a stir in our local community. People wanting to turn up and play a bit of Magic. I think it also helped that last Friday was a week before game day and 2 weeks before our London GP.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, I think, were trying to get practice in for that as well.
Definitely.
But you saw quite a few people just turn up for the first time with some deck that they've put together from, Origins cards that they've got into.
That's cool.
Maybe that they've drafted. It was good to see a lot of new faces there. A few of the decks which really impressed me. Some I played against and lost terribly. Some I was just watching from the sidelines after I'd lost terribly to somebody else and had spare time. The first one is basically a new enchantment constellation deck which was being played against me, which had Herald of the Pantheon so that enchantments cost one less. Then there was another one, I'm not sure the name of it, but every time you played an enchantment you would gain a life. And my opponent actually managed to get two of them out at the same time, so it just stacked and he gained 2 life every time he played an enchantment.
Wow.
And then that kind of later ran into obviously being cheaper to cast and then gaining life off every enchantment. So when he was playing Doomwake Giant...
So what was that card? Yes, it's Herald of the Pantheon, isn't it?
That's the one that makes him cost less.
Yeah, what was the one that gains your life, sorry?
I don't know the name of it.
Oh, okay. I thought you said it, and I'm
No.
I'm frantically trying to remember what it is. But yes,
No, I don't know. I can't remember the name of it. So there was...
Was he playing Starfield and Nyx as well, though?
Yep, Starfield of Nyx. So yeah, it was just enchantment craziness. Doomwake Giants, which was the removal really, and that kept stacking. If you played 3 enchantments in a turn, then it was wiping my board.
Yeah.
And the deck that I was playing doesn't really mind things dying and going to the graveyard because I have ways to bring them back. But even for me, I couldn't regenerate and reanimate quick enough.
It's neg 1 until the end of turn, so even if you bring things back, if they're a 1-drop, they're 1/1, they're still going to die anyway.
Yeah, I know, but in my next turn, say I can't use Whip of Erebos in his turn anyway.
Yeah, definitely. That's horrendous.
Yeah,
Doomwake Giant's just going to be like neg 3 to everything except for me.
Yeah.
Because as I say, even if you whip something back, it's like, no, it's dead.
Yeah.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
Wow.
So there was one game which finished quite quickly, and then the second game went on for quite a while, but then my opponent apologised to me because he knew that his deck was going to be going off and comboing, and he pretty much figured out he was going to wipe my board and swing for the win.
People who apologise before beating you. I'm really sorry, but I'm just going to win now.
Yeah, it's really nice. I don't mind that.
It's quite funny. It's quite sweet in the way. I mean, I feel like a bastard when I'm beating people.
Yeah.
To be fair, like Sean at the last modern F&M, and he was playing Boggles. Basically, got this hexproof dude with loads of enchantments on him, so he was like a 9/9 hexproof. And then I managed to resolve an ultimate on Sorin, Solemn Visitor, his upkeep. I'm like, sacrifice your thing. No, you can't save it with half those enchantments on him that say you can get rid of that if he was to die. And I was sat there saying, I'm so sorry, buddy. Like, I was like, I want to win, but I feel terrible for just being like, no.
Sometimes it can just be the nature of the win can seem so harsh, isn't it?
I was like, no, you're not allowed to have no fun. You've spent however many turns building your dude up, and no.
Yes. Let me play with it.
Yeah,
Let me play with it.
I was happy to win, but I was just like, oh man, I don't want to ruin anyone's time.
Yeah.
Basically.
No, I wouldn't worry about that too much.
No, I won't.
Another deck that really impressed me was, firstly, very similar to the kind of deck that Mike was saying about just the Sphinx's tutelage, being able to draw cards and then mill your opponent, but Mike's already spoken about that a lot, but that was on show and very successfully milled out opponents as well.
It's such a horrible deck to play. It's typical.
Yeah.
I've got a love-hate relationship with Blue. I love it when I'm playing.
There's a lot of triggers to remember.
Yeah.
So you do really have to be on top of it. You can't. I'd say if I was going to a big tournament where I was playing 9 times in a day, it's really one where you've got to be thinking all of the time.
You'd probably get used to it because it comes second nature. It's like me after playing Sidisi Whip and Courser of Crewface for so long.
Yeah.
The triggers for like revealing and bringing land in and gaining a life sort of become second nature because it happens so often. Maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I've got a love-hate relationship with Blue. I love it when I'm playing it. I hate it when I'm not because something like that...
Says every Magic player ever.
Yeah, true. Something like that deck though, it's just like, you're not allowed to have any fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop you doing whatever you want, and I'm not even going to control you out of the game, then bring down a creature and try and beat you. While I'm stopping you from doing everything, I'm going to be slowly like taking away chunks of your deck, and it's like you just run out of options and answers so quickly, and you're like, geez, like what can I do to beat
I always
you?
found it was like tactics like that when I first got into Magic. It was almost like, what are you doing? These are my cards.
Yeah, yeah. It's
Which is why you feel bad when, like you said before, when you make somebody have to sacrifice their creature or something like that. Because as a new person, you kind of go, no, these are my cards. Those are your cards.
Yeah, it's a little bit like play fair, beat me by beating my life total. It's like milling people out is such a dirty tactic. Anyway, I don't not condone it because if you're playing that deck, it's hilarious and it's fun.
But it was one of those rules that when I learnt about it, I was like, really? You can win just by doing that? Really?
Here's a pro tip. Orbs of Warding in your sideboard in case you come up against any tutelage decks.
Oh, for hexproof.
Tutelages target opponent, so will stop it.
Yeah.
And if you can get it quick enough, which tutelages is a 3-drop. So if you're playing something with a little bit of ramp in it, if you can get that on turn 3, they aren't going to be able to do anything, I guess.
That's true. I mean, I think it depends on how big a deal that deck actually becomes. If it rises and a lot of people are going to start playing it to like Abzan red aggro level, then
we're not going to see until the next couple of weeks to a month, because the Pro Tour's just happened. That is the only tournament that's just happened. GP London, there's going to be a showing. You'll start to see more of a balanced meta, but there will also be decks made to beat the red aggro deck and to beat the blue-red in Soul Artifact deck.
Yeah.
So this is why the meta's pretty much constantly shifting.
That's true. And actually, I think one that's kind of been built to beat red aggro, because what I noticed on Friday is the new card Angel of Tithes. In a deck against red aggro, the red aggro just really couldn't stand a chance. Angel of Tithes, for those that don't know, is a 3/5 body in white that if your opponent wants to attack with a creature, they have to pay 1 mana for each creature that they want to attack with, and the same goes for blocking. So obviously red aggro is trying to swarm the board and attack with loads of little dudes. Yeah, you can attack me if you can pay 6 mana for your 6 dudes.
I mean, it's a 4-drop. As I said to you previously, I looked at that card initially and I was like, but it's ass, because Reeve Soul kills it. Thinking in a limited sense.
Yeah, you can think about that with a lot of cards that you can go, well, that kills it.
But then if you look in terms of an actual constructed sense, as you say, if you're playing against red aggro, what are you going to do? Try and... even Roast doesn't touch it because it's flying. Yeah.
It's flying. And so, that was the main kind of issue that Alex, who was actually the red aggro player, said, is that because it's 5 toughness, it's kind of out of burn that you can do in 1 turn easily.
Like...
Even Stoked Flames doesn't kill it. So
no, that's what I was going to say. Stoked Flames doesn't touch it either. That's insane. You'd have to try and put 2 burn spells on it.
Or you'd have to try and do some kind of make them block with it.
Yeah, definitely.
And then damage.
Saying about burn spells, Exquisite Firecraft is an absolute powerhouse.
Apparently, yeah.
And won so many games at the Pro Tour just because they're like, deal 40, you can't counter it.
You can't stop it. Yeah.
It's insane.
I think also the emergence of Sultai Charm as a sideboard card has come around a lot now.
Gaia's Revenge.
As people have realised it's one of maybe the only way to kill Gaia's Revenge.
Yeah.
Because it can't be countered, and it can't be the target of non-green spells or abilities.
Well, what are you going to do?
Where Sultai Charm, it has green in the casting cost, it's allowed to kill it.
What are you going to do?
As a mono-coloured creature.
Epic Confrontation 8/5?
An 8/5.
Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's a powerhouse, and the fact that it can't be countered as well, it's like, okay. So Sultai Charm is one of the few answers to Gaia's Revenge, which is going to be on a lot of sideboards, because any green sideboard control plan...
Yeah. I mean, I've put it in my sideboard, because I'm running green, and I'm thinking, worst comes to the worst, where I get a lot of creatures in my graveyard, Whip of Erebos, bring it in 1 turn, attack you for 8. I mean,
Yeah, swinging for 8.
It's a nice little backup plan,
Right.
but I can have it in there against control as well. But also, it can be nice to bring
Swinging
in.
for 8, rogue's passage, unblockable, have fun.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You need a lot of mana to do that with the whip, but
Yeah.
it'd be possible late game.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. What was your record for FNM?
I won 1 and I lost 3.
What was the deck you won against?
I won against. I'm not too sure. It was very much just a kind of like a not much going on in the deck. Just
Okay.
It wasn't like a high tier deck or anything like that. It was a lot of Origins cards and stuff. Yeah.
Was it? I take it. I don't want to sound harsh, but a new person who just bought maybe some Origins packs and put a deck together, or sort of thing.
Not that I knew. I've seen him around quite a lot. He's a nice
Oh,
guy.
that's fair enough.
But yeah, I did. I was basically quite happy because even though I went 1 and 3, I've been to this place 6 times now, and that was actually because of how good they are, the first person that I've ever beaten there.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
You're getting better then.
Yeah. So it was quite, for me, it was like I went 1 and 3, but I beat someone. I don't feel like such a newbie anymore because I beat somebody there where they're all really, really good.
Yeah, they're very pro. Just one more thing before we go. In relation to last week, planeswalkers do become creatures when they go back into the grave, so have fun with Whip of Erebos, even if they've become a planeswalker previously, as was cleared out by Mr. Mark Eilert, who is the rules guru for our locals, I guess.
And you can have a planeswalker out and the creature
You can.
at the same time.
Yeah, you can. You could literally be. Say, for instance, you've got 2 Jaces. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to neg Jace. Use this instant in my graveyard. Do something with your instant, whatever it is. Use my instant. That's fine.
Yeah.
I'm going to loot with my second Jace. Okay. My second Jace flips. I'm going to kill off the first Jace, who I've already used the ability of. I'm going to neg 3 again and cast this instant or sorcery again.
Yeah,
Not
but
the same one, but 2 instant sorceries from your grave.
Yeah.
Turn. There's some little tricks like that you can do, especially.
That is true. I know you can have the creature and the planeswalker at the same time,
Yeah.
but where you can't really stop Jace flipping once you tap it to draw a card, can you? It's not a May ability.
Can't stop it flipping once you
No.
draw a card.
And then you'd have to lose one
you
of them.
could- But yeah, but you lose one after resolving.
Yeah, that's true.
You
You could just -2 to kill off your first
You
one.
could literally
Anyway.
Nissa, neg 4, or neg whatever it is to get the 4/4 elemental.
Two,
Okay.
Yeah.
Put a land in, flip the next one, kill off the first one, do the draw thing as well. You can abuse them in that sense.
Yeah.
It's like, for instance, if you're playing and you tap an Urborg to cast something, and then in your main phase 2 you play another Urborg and sacrifice the one that's tapped. Just for a bit of extra open mana. There's all sorts of like quirky things like that with legendary rulings. Anyway, that was us for week 5 of Mull to 4. Remember to rate, comment, subscribe. Tell us what you think of the Pro Tour and what your favourite deck was. And if you agree with us on the Ensoul Artifact deck, which looks insane. Until next week, which will be, I presume, it's going to be a tournament report for our game day.
Yeah. Well, we'd have already gone to game day, and
Well, I'm debating going to GP London. I'm not sure about Joe.
no, yeah, I'm also as well.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so we may be-
I didn't know if you were locked in or not, but
No.
we need to sort a couple of things out. We may be going to GP London. If we do, we're going to bring this little sucker here with us. We're going to
Yeah.
film some stuff on location, as it were, and film our jaunt.
We should bring like a load of little like promotional
Some
cards
big
as
old
well,
London
just
town.
to give to people.
Possibly.
Watch our podcast.
Possibly, or just tell people.
Yeah.
But anyway, remember to, as I say, rate, comment, subscribe, tell us what your favourite decks are. This has been Multiple, episode 5, and until next week, we will see you later.
Thanks for watching.
Bye.
Bye bye.